I'm Hayley Herms. I am a plus size supermodel, entertainer, and entrepreneur. So I always I feel like it's LOL because you had to be born in like the MySpace days. So I was like a child actress, singer, was like in the industry. And I one day just put my headshots from like that kind of stuff up on MySpace. And this girl found me and was like, oh, I grew up in Orange County. And she's like, I live in Orange County and I'm doing some plus size Ed Hardy stuff. And I'd love to have you come model, whatever. And 12-year-old me went up to my mother and was like, hey, this girl on MySpace wants me to come to her house and take photos. And I don't know why, my mom, I don't even think she asked to see them. She just was like, okay, I guess. So we did it and it was legit. It wasn't anything weird. It was so much fun and I felt like a chameleon. So that was before, Instagram and Facebook was just coming about, I feel or really used. And and then from there I was just like, oh, I want to be a model. And then when I was in high school, that's when social media and Instagram started kind of rolling out. And then it came not more, but another part of it was I was inspiring others, but now others had access to me, where you could talk about it and now have these public forums. So I was like, oh my God, not only do I love it, I feel like a chameleon, but I'm helping other people and empowering other people. So that was another added benefit as time went on.
When you started, let's say with the Ed Hardy campaign starting off, did you, with that first photo shoot, kind of know I enjoy this, or was it something that was kind of I don't know if I like this just yet? Maybe
no. This was very self-driven. Okay. No one was you need to be a star. I had friends who their parents and their families depended on them getting acting jobs and this and that. So for me, this was very much no, I'm gonna be a star. No one, I just came out of the womb was star. If you look at my pre-K kindergarten drawings, it's me as a mermaid with a microphone in my hand. I always knew I just wanted to be an entertainer in some fashion. So that was singing, that kind of led to acting, that led to modeling. And then by high school, I just really wanted to take modeling seriously on another level. And so I just kind of put everything to the side and focused on that. I dropped out of high school, and then eventually I rolled into an independent study program, and I graduated high school a year early. But very much I'm assuming it would have been a lot easier to be my parent if I didn't want all these crazy things. So
right.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated by people who from young know. For me, from young, I loved cameras. I would pick up a camera. I'd tell my parents give me one for Christmas, all that type of stuff. But I didn't know that's what I wanted until I was out of high school. And then out of high school, I was well, my dad won't pay for me to go to school and go do fashion design, which is what I wanted to do. So I was all right, I'll just mess with the camera sort of thing.
I feel that's kind of what happens is in high school, your family kind of sees is this something that they're gonna keep continuing, or are they gonna step into the real world kind of thing, you know what I mean? And I only have my mom's side of the family out here, and they're horrible people. And so when I was in high school, still trying to pursue modeling and singing and acting and stuff, they were just kind of when is she gonna wake up and join society and get her? And they're still like that today. I've now been in Vogue, Times Square, Billboard on Sunset. If they went to go buy makeup at Nordstrom's, they'd see my face. But still, so that's also, I want to extend on what you were saying. I also want to say that's proof to you should be doing everything you want to do for yourself, because even if you do things for other people, it could still not be enough. And then what you're just trying to chase this vision of what other people want. So I think that's just such an important thing to say off of what you were saying, to also keep following what you want to do and pursue your passions.
I never thought about that, because I mean that is true. If I would have gone per se a different path, it's like it still would have come with the set of issues that I don't know unless I would have taken that path. Like,
exactly.
My family member was always like, "Oh, you should go work in a restaurant. Like, go do that," you know. And it's like, because a lot of Greek families do that. You know, go work for the family business type thing. And it was like,
I'm Greek.
Yeah,
well, but my family isn't like hardcore, like, oh, we're Greek. But yeah, anyway, sorry. But like, but like, I know what you see. I like look in the cultures and like different stuff. And it's like very like, you're going to take on the family business, or like everyone on my mom's side very like owns their own business or did law, some type of like a career that was going to make money. You know what I mean? And so I was, at some point I just realized like I could make $5 million tomorrow, live in a penthouse, a mansion, you know, and that still probably
not enough.
Wouldn't be enough. So, you know, you got to just be enough for yourself. Yeah, exactly. Maybe one day if you become a millionaire, you'll like get a Greek restaurant on the side.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know how the parents work it if that's what they want to do, you know, call it a day. But
like Lady Gaga.
Right.
They have a restaurant in New York, but you know, they're running it and stuff. So
exactly. And if that's what the parents want to do, like that sounds like an awesome goal to just be
for
like,
them.
Hey, you know what? I'll fund it. You do you, because that's something that you enjoy doing. But
exactly.
I don't want to be back there cooking the gyros. Like I'm good.
Follow your passion.
Exactly. So after all these years of pushing through and just, you know, especially with the naysayers, you know, hearing people saying like, hey, you can't do this, no.
Yeah.
What was a moment that was like a pinch me moment for you?
Oh my God. Well, I will say the past couple of years, there's been a lot of moments where I was like, whoa. But I will say, I'm going to like say something and then say something else. Follow along with me and tell me if I talk too much. But because I was always like, I'm going to be a star. Sometimes I'm like, I can't believe these things are happening. Like that it's happening that moment. But like deep down, like I knew this was always going to happen. Like I can't be like, oh, I can't believe this would ever happen to someone. I definitely believe this could happen. I worked for this. I did everything in my power. I left like everything on the floor, like creatively I could do to get to these moments. So I'm not going to sit here and be like all bashful and be like, I never thought. I always thought I could do it, but it feels really surreal in the moment. But I will say, one of those moments where I was like, holy shit. Can I curse? Okay. Was when I was on Sunset Boulevard, because I grew up in a very abusive house, and and even though I grew up in Orange County, I wouldn't try to spend much time in the house, obviously. So I would come here to Hollywood, and I would me and my couple friends would just walk up and down Hollywood Boulevard, up and down Sunset, just like, you know, we were not like doing drugs or drinking. We were just like high off of life and talking about like dreams and goals. And I will say, yeah, Vogue Italia was really cool. Being Times Square, really cool. But like those were like being on Sunset Boulevard on like a big billboard, that was like, I walked these, like, I didn't even know if that was like a thing. It was on a building too. And I don't know if that's one thing I ever really dreamed of. You know, I always thought like, oh, success, but like, it just hit different. People I knew could see it. Like, I don't know. That one was like a really big, like, oh my God, like, chills. So
I have them right now.
Me too. It's like, ooh, I can't, and I didn't even know that campaign was gonna be as global as it still is right now. That happened almost a little less than a year ago, but even still, they just launched the campaign in England, and like, wow. So I don't know. It's like, wow, you know, you never know what could happen. You just got to keep the faith.
Yeah, and keep going down the path that you feel is the most authentic to you.
Yes.
You know, like, I love it. I love hearing stories like this, because it's more proof for those people who just might be in that limbo period of, well, I don't know, my family says this, I feel that, this, that, the other. It's like, no, like if you feel driven, like you said, you always knew, and I think that that's so beautiful because there is a sense of self where you're like, I know this is where I'm gonna go. Follow me or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's not for everybody. Some
It's
people
not,
don't know till they're like 30 what they want to do.
Right.
But I think that's like the more, no matter what spectrum you're on, like if you know, whether you don't, just trying things. And like that's the hardest part, is just like putting yourself out there and then being like, oh, if you don't like it, you can move on. If you're like, oh, I like this, but it's hard, then maybe just like keep on, and like you just got to see what's right for you. But it's okay to also quit things, because some people are like, quitters don't get ahead. And well, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They don't spend time doing shit that they're bad at. They like craft what they're doing good at or like interested in longer. So, you know, don't be afraid to quit something.
Yeah, you know.
Like if you're really trying to convince yourself like, I could live this life, maybe like you don't like really want to live that life, you know?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Have you ever thought about moving anywhere besides LA, given this pinch me moment here?
New York.
Yeah.
I love how fast paced they move, and everyone's like work, 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 and they're collabing and open and creative, and the city's like, it's like I always say to my friends, it's the one place I don't have anxiety. Wow. Because usually, especially in LA, like everything's a little bit slower pace out here. I feel like I'm always moving faster than like everyone around here. But when I'm in New York, it's like I'm playing catch up, which I kind of love, because usually no one's like working as fast, if not faster than me. So it's like the energy is just, it's just a different type of vibe. And I think if I didn't have a dog baby, I'd move there sooner. But I would, like, you know, maybe when she gets a little older, because I don't know how we would survive winters, and like literally what like I pay out here, I'd be living in like a closet out there. So
We'll see.
To be continued, but definitely probably that. And then I got to go more out the country, and maybe my answer will change in a year or two. We'll see.